Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're going to take a quick look at Egld. Just before we do, we typically look at Bitcoin, but I can summarize in the sense that it's really straightforward. We're staying right about 65,000 state of consolidation. We expect that for a couple more days based on the fact that it sold off heavily yesterday, right around 10% total in just 3 hours alone. So it's kind of a red day for a lot of folks, and today it's just kind of hitting that reset button, seeing what's going on. And also note too, before we jump in here, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? This is educational purposes only, but the great thing is you're going to actually learn something here today. Instead of me just telling you the answers, I try to explain why they are the way they are. Okay, I do that for my community members too. I actually have a trading community / signal group where I share every single trade that I take with my members so they kind of learn how to become a better trader. And also, of course, we communicate openly and I have great relationships with them. So it's growing fast, growing quick. Check that out before the month is over, just based on the simple fact that we are looking at increasing the rates, of course, near month end, and we have limited slots available. All right, so take a look here at the 1 day chart for Egld. Simply put, we're above both moving averages. This is fantastic. We can see this golden cross just ramp the price right up back in September. It kind of sold off, of course, because the fact that we did have that. Actually, no, correction. That is wrong. Look at this, September 7th. That's the candle there that allowed for the price to dip very hard for Bitcoin. That was El Salvador candle is probably the best way to put it. And look how hard Egld ramped back up. I love it when I see that. Same thing happened here today as well. At least yesterday, you can see the price dipped down and almost as if it didn't happen at all. So that basically tells me it's a really good sign when coins do that. NKM did that as well, as able to take 10% profit for my members, just based on the simple fact the price dipped down. And the way that it dipped down, it didn't keep lagging down like Bitcoin did. It just stopped and stayed right at support. So it was awesome to see that. Anyways, Egld looks to be one of those scenarios as well. That being said, we're right under 70 on the R side, which is actually very healthy in this scenario. It looks like it's ready to try to break, though. It does appear there's somewhat of a resistance zone here. So right in this range here, you can kind of see this little line of, the price cannot seem to break the plane of $320. Today, it looks like it's testing it, but this candlestick's only about 2 hours old. So we'll see here soon what happens with that. MACD is pretty much just telling us we don't have a potential divergence any longer. It does look like it might actually converge the opposite direction perhaps soon. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we can see the price is holding on the 50. I love to see that as well. Look at how well that 50-day simple moving average is holding. Even with the big sell-off yesterday, it went down, came right back up just above. So that moving average is holding very strong. And by the way, the 4-hour the simple moving average on the 4-hour chart is probably the most effective moving average you could use. Some people trend more towards exponential moving average, but I prefer the simple moving average because it seems to be more consistent. At just longer time frames, SMA is a better way to go. Shorter time frames, obviously, maybe 15-minute chart or it's lower, EMA all the way, right? That's kind of the difference. But here's a cool thing too. Look at the price. Even though we had this little sell-off in the last, 16 hours, you can see the price bouncing off the RSI of 50. So that's awesome. Also note too, we have the MACD convergence isn't really telling us much here. Honestly, it looks like it's bouncing between converging and diverging, but it's mostly just this little this little hiccup that caused a bit of a ripple there. Needless to say, we don't really need to worry about that. The MACD isn't really going to tell us too much at this point. Let's look at the 1-hour chart though, see what kind of what's going on with the cloud. We're kind of, we're still above the cloud because we have this steep shelf. So that's kind of good in a sense, but generally speaking, the price is above the cloud. It's considered a buy signal. So for lack of better terms, oftentimes you want to consider either adding to your position or, moving forward with that. Keep this in mind though. This is rejecting out at a specific point, like 320. Can't seem to pass that. So buying into a resistance level can be, I wouldn't say problematic, but it can be kind of risky because it'll constantly get rejected. But keep this in mind. It's been rejected like 7 or 8 days almost in a row. So I think the likelihood of it breaking soon is pretty high. And when coins like these break all-time highs, they have a tendency of taking off even further. This is obviously proven to do that. It looks like it's 2 or 3x already just this year alone. So honestly, Egld is very good. At this point, I think it's looking pretty healthy. I'm seeing more bullish than bearish qualities here, and I like that. T sequential isn't going to tell us much. We're in a state of consolidation. And okay, I got to take a look at Cartesi here soon. Disregard that. I'm going to jump on over there. I covered Cartesi earlier today, and I think that was the dip we were looking for. I'll find out here in a moment. Either way, so with Egld, obviously, we're looking at the 1-hour chart. We don't see much in the way of momentum here. We're in a consolidation state, so TD sequential doesn't help or really impact things much at all. So what we want to do next here is kind of take a quick look at Fibonacci retracement, kind of just get an idea of, what's going on here. And then we can get a, kind of feel for a big picture of what potential is here as well. Now, again, this is based on the most recent impact, right? So this is just the last, I would say, 48 hours, right? So this is a very small window for Fibonacci retracement. So keep that in mind. If you want more of a long-term picture, we can go back a little bit and have more data. But I would say hypothetically, once we break this resistance level that is having trouble breaking, such as 320, well, between 320 and 340 looks like. If it can break, just say past 340, then the potential for the upside is pretty significant. We can see 389 is a strong potential, and that would be within the next 24 to 48 hours, right? So the immediate impact of breaking that resistance level and effectively closing above. Again, we want the one-day candlestick to close above that line in order for that to be more, kind of legitimate, okay? So in other words, take a look at this here. You can kind of see where the price kind of got stopped out. It's about 320. Right now, the one-day candlestick is above that. And look, it falls right on the Fibonacci retracement line of 0.618. That's very, very common when you have these strong legs down. But what I'm getting at here is that unless this candlestick can close above in the next 24 hours, technically it'd be the next 22 hours from now, then, and only then, we can consider that resistance level to be broken, right? Because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, almost 7 times rather, it is tested and rejected and cannot close above that level. So today could be the lucky number 8, right? And if so, and it closes above, then that would be a case in point where you might want to consider adding to your position and taking a ride to the upside for a good 10 to possibly 20%. Okay, and if you're like a long-term holder of Egld, this wouldn't be a terrible place to consider taking entry, adding to your position, and obviously going from there, right? So hopefully you found benefit here. I can cover Egld again soon. In fact, I want to go ahead and set an alert. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for about 326. Because if it comes up a little higher, then I'll be notified. And then ultimately, if it comes down below, I want to also be notified as well. So let's go ahead and go with what, 317. All right, so then I can at least double check and look at this again. And if it breaks its all-time high tomorrow, in 24 hours from now, then we'll know. That might be a good consideration to take a long position. Furthermore, one last thing to note, if you're going to consider taking profits, always take profits just below the Fibonacci retracement line. So for example, 350 would be a better number than 352.80, right? So just under Fibonacci retracement levels, that's how I set my profit targets. I always set 3. We have a trading bot in our community that you just one-click follow and it trades everything for you. At least I set up the trades and you can follow. And in that regard, what's nice is it has a trailing stop loss that moves when you hit your profit targets and just continues to progress upwards with the price. So you're always taking profits, and it leads you to become like 80 to 90% profitable, at least successful in that sense, which is always profit, sure. So anyways, enough about that. So just some friendly advice in that sense, future reference, little nugget for you there. But I hope you do find benefit or had found benefit here today. If so, like and subscribe, comment below, let me know where you got in on Egld. Good luck in that sense. If you are down in the $60, $70 range, that would have been awesome to get in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much again for your time. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.